How do detective stories differ from other genres of literature? If you are a book lover or a movie buff, you might have wondered what makes detective stories so unique. Let us break it down and see what sets them apart from other genres. First off, detective stories are a subgenre of crime and mystery fiction. The core of these stories is an investigator or detective who solves a crime, usually a murder. This is different from other genres where the plot might revolve around romance, science fiction, or historical events. One of the key elements of detective fiction is the way the story is structured. Typically, a crime is introduced, and then the detective investigates to uncover the culprit. This structure is often referred to as a whodunit, where the identity of the perpetrator is hidden until the very end of the story. In detective stories, the detective's skills of observation and deduction are central. These stories often feature complex puzzles that the detective must solve, and the reader is presented with clues at the same time as the detective. This makes the story a kind of intellectual game between the reader and the author. Another unique aspect is the locked room mystery, where a crime seems impossible to commit because it happens in a sealed environment. Here, the detective must use lateral thinking and deduction to solve the seemingly impossible crime. Unlike other genres, detective fiction can also be categorized into different subtypes. For example, there is the inverted detective story, or howcatchem, where the crime and the perpetrator are revealed at the beginning, and the story follows the detective's attempt to solve it. Police procedurals are another subtype, where the focus is on the realistic depiction of police work. These stories show the routine activities of police officers and the procedures they follow to catch a criminal. This is different from the more glamorous and isolated detective stories. In contrast to genres like noir fiction, which focus on the psychology of characters, and the dark, gritty atmosphere, detective stories tend to be more about the intellectual challenge and the mechanics of the crime. Noir fiction often features anti-heroes and a corrupt system, whereas detective stories usually have a more defined moral framework. Historical crime fiction is another subgenre that combines historical accuracy with fictional events. Here, the story is set in a specific historical period and includes details about the time, such as social norms and customs. This adds a layer of authenticity that is not typically found in other genres. In summary, detective stories stand out due to their unique structure, the central role of the detective's skills, and the various subtypes that offer different twists on the genre. Whether it is a whodunit, a locked room mystery, or a police procedural, detective fiction provides a unique reading experience that challenges and engages the reader.